It's a beach in Rada, Egypt.
Wow. And as you look in around in all directions, what does it look like? Tell me what you see.
There's a beach in front of me. Um, Behind me is a hotel.
Wow.
And to the right, there's a little piece of land. It's shaped like a circle.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, there's no worries in a place like that, right? It's just peaceful.
Yeah.
No worries, no problems, just peace and quiet. So I want you to take a minute and explore this place. And you're looking for a building or a structure. You'll know it as soon as you see it. It'll stand out to you. When you find that, just let me know. What does it look like?
The building behind me.
Mm-hmm.
It's large, multiple stories high.
Wow.
There's a part of the building that's a little bit shorter than the other,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I'm going.
Okay, beautiful. So go ahead and go inside and tell me what it looks like on the inside.
White stairs, white walls. The stairs are wide.
Wow.
I'm going up three flights of stairs.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and keep exploring and let me know what you find.
I open this black door to the hallway
Mm-hmm.
where my room is,
Mm-hmm.
and I walk down the hallway and I go into my room. There's a bathroom to my right, and there's two beds in the room. Towards the end of the room on the left, there's a balcony with two chairs on it, and the balcony faces towards the ocean.
Oh, wow. That sounds beautiful. So I want
Yeah,
you to go ahead and find a place to have a comfortable seat. Let me know when you're comfortably seated.
okay, I'm going to sit on my bed.
Okay. So I want you to just hang out here. There's nothing that you need to do. We're
Okay,
going to invite in Einstein to join us in the safe space that we've created. So I'm just asking Einstein to join us in the safe space that Imann and I have created. We have some questions that we'd like to ask and some advice we'd like to ask for. And Imann, when he shows up, tell me, what does he look like? How does he present himself to you?
he's wearing a
Mm-hmm.
white shirt and a gray blazer.
Wow, he came very nicely dressed for you.
Yeah,
So why don't
his,
you go ahead?
his hair is combed down
Oh wow.
and
He
his
really
beard.
he really got dressed up for you. That's so nice. So go ahead and invite him in and invite him to have a seat. And I'm going to speak to him through you, and you just let me know what he says, okay?
Okay, he's sitting next to me now.
Okay, cool. So nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us. We've been very excited to speak with you. Is it okay for us to ask you questions today?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I want to start with uh, the Iman's first question, which is which karma from your lifetime is affecting her life?
There's a lot of karma from my lifetime that's affecting her.
So she had questions specifically around relationships, marriage, responsibility about how your work was used. She has a lot of questions about the karma, but where would you like to start?
First, I want to apologize. It's important for her to know that none of this is her fault. And I want to thank her for helping me move on.
Can you explain the dynamic between you and Imann?
Yes, but she won't like the answer. So I'd like to save that for later.
Okay, we'll come back to it. So we were talking about karma. So how is your karma affecting her and why?
The first karma is her poverty. I misused money in my life. I used money for pleasure, and I didn't take care of my family. I neglected my children. I used money only for pleasure, and that's currently affecting her.
And so looking back on how you treated money, how do you feel about it now that you've lived that life? What would you have done differently?
In order to know the value of money, one must first lose it.
Mm.
Differently, I would spend my money on my family, take care of my children, make sure that their needs are met.
And so in Imann's life, how is that money karma affecting her?
Her father treated her the same way I treated my children,
Oh, wow.
neglected her financially.
And what was the purpose of that? What did she learn by going through that experience?
Now she won't neglect her children,
Yeah,
no matter how much money she makes.
yeah,
She'll make sure to always take care of them.
yeah. And so now that she has really internalized that message, we're ready to release that karmic block. Can you help us do that?
It will take a while.
What can we do to help Iman facilitate that process? What would help her?
She needs to learn to receive from her father. Once she has money, she needs to return it to her family. This is the only way to move past the karma.
Okay. So, one plan of Iman's that she shared with me last week is that she intends to invest in her father's property in Egypt. Is that an example of investing her money back in her family?
Yes,
Okay.
that is.
So, so you support this plan that she has.
Yes,
Okay, cool. Is there anything else around releasing this money karma that she needs to know?
she needs to learn how to use money responsibly and limit its use for pleasure. She is doing really good.
I'm curious if you can elaborate on using money for pleasure, because it doesn't sound like you want her to neglect her needs or not have a good time. It sounds more like being irresponsible. Can you say, how does she know what's money used for pleasure in a bad way versus in a good way for herself?
I've explained to her privately the answer. Unfortunately, my name is public and I'm not willing to share that answer with
Okay,
you now.
that's fine. I totally respect that. Thank you. Is there anything else about the karma of money before we move on?
Yes, but I will explain privately.
Okay. Would you like to do that now or at another time?
I've explained it to her.
Okay. So, another thing that she wanted to ask about was the karma of relationships. What's your view on this?
I've explained it to her. I will say this for your recording. Marriage for the sake of marriage is not wise. A relationship is more important than the title. Be careful who you marry, and be careful if you marry. It's okay to not have the title as long as the relationship is good.
So, may I ask a personal question of you? And you can, of course, say if you're uncomfortable with answering. Um, when it came to your two marriages, which one do you feel was the better marriage karmically?
The marriage where I was happy.
And which marriage were you happy?
It's embarrassing. And I'm upset that she told you that.
So, Imann let me know that you are very private, and I want to respect your privacy. And so, to clarify, this recording is only for Imann's use and won't be shared publicly, and I won't share anything from this session. So, I hope that Imann's trust in me, if you can extend the same trust, I understand if not. But I'm not here to judge you or to determine right or wrong. I'm just trying to help my friend understand this connection that she has with you. And one way that she feels like your relationship karma is affecting her is in relationships that are really important to her. And I really would like for her to have the same type of happiness that you had in your marriage. So if you don't want to distinguish which woman made you happier, can you just tell me the woman that did make you happy, what was it that made you happy with her?
This interview isn't private. Many will see it eventually. But I will answer your question.
Thank you.
The relationship that made me happy was the first one. But I allowed my ego to get in the way. I didn't think she was good enough for me because I allowed the beliefs and thoughts of my community and my country to get in the way. I viewed her as lesser because she didn't look like me. I remarried and I left her because of my ego, not because I didn't love her, but because I was embarrassed of her.
Thank you for sharing that. And so, what does Iman need to know? How can you help her?
A lesson that she has learned recently is that love is blind. It doesn't matter what he or she looks like, but who he or she is on the inside.
So, is there any residual karma related to marriage or relationships like that that Iman has to deal with, or has she learned that lesson?
The lesson regarding her personal relationship is coming to an end.
Thank you. The other karma she wanted to specifically ask about was she's questioning whether or not you took responsibility or enough responsibility over how your work was used. And from your perspective now, what do you think about that?
I'm embarrassed and regretful. I made a lot of mistakes in my life that people have forgotten. I wish that people knew how faulty of a person I was, but instead I am idolized. It is wrong. I made a lot of mistakes. In a lot of ways, I was a bad person. I wish that people knew better. I overlooked a lot of things. When people in power would tell me things, how they planned to hurt people, how my science would be used, I overlooked it for money, for power. I wanted to be on the side of whoever was most powerful, rather than the side of good.
Mm.
So yes, I was irresponsible, but I was also bad. I was a bad person.
Thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that with us. It sounds like a great weight. From my perspective, mistakes, you can learn from them, and then that alchemizes their impact into good. And so I would really appreciate if you could share with Iman the things that you think would help her. What should she look out for? What should she avoid? What is your advice for her?
I trust her to carry my legacy through and correct the mistakes that I made. Her focus should be on family, on the relationship, not the marriage, on her children, not the power, on her love, not the fame.
So I wanted to actually, I'm glad you brought up the question of fame, um, because she has a lot of fears that come up. The first fear is around the karma, which I feel like we have shed some light that she needed to see. But when it comes to fear, she's worried about if her ego can handle that. She's worried about the pressure. Um, what do you see from your perspective?
Her fame is inevitable, but it won't be as painful as mine if she learns from my mistakes. The first mistake I made was allowing others to idolize me. I let this happen while I'm alive, and it got worse after death. As long as people understand that she's human and that I'm human, then the pain won't be as painful.
And so that is something that Iman has already come up against, people idolizing her. And I feel like she's doing the best she can to navigate that. What is your advice on how to handle people that would prefer to see her as an idol than as a human? How should she handle them?
It's her responsibility to say no. But once she says no, it's no longer her responsibility. As long as the people around her see her humanity, then she will be okay.
Okay.
But if she leaves the people around her, the closest to her, and allows those people to be people who idolize her, then it's game over. There's no returning from that.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Thank you. She had another fear around not meeting expectations and about hurting people. She describes the model that she's working with as a knife and being told to practice sword fighting and being afraid that she's going to actually cause damage. So, what is your advice for her around that?
I have one correction to make.
Mm-hmm.
The theory is a knife. It's a knife on fire. The model is protection. The therapy model brings good. It protects people from knowing the truth.
I see. I see. And that's something that you probably dealt with too, right? The burning knife, and then how to create something that would do good instead of harm from it.
Those who brought good to my theories and to my work were people who weren't me. The best came from others. And that's one regret that I have.
Was it that you didn't see the good, or was it just that the not so good paid better, whether in fame or in money?
I just didn't care.
Mm,
All I cared about was the science.
yeah.
All I cared about was people knowing my name and seeing how great I was. I was the best physicist of my time, and I wanted everyone to know it.
I saw this quote where, and this may be a misattributed quote, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but someone said that they asked you how it felt to be the smartest man in the world, and you said, "I don't know, ask Nikola Tesla."
I hate it when people say that.
Tell me why.
They said it in the hospital when she was at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She was playing a card game, and they asked something along the lines of something related to my theory. And the answer was the smartest person in the world, the smartest person alive. I am not supposed to be alive. I am supposed to be dead. But people keep me alive because they won't move on. They think
Ah,
I'm this person. I am not the smartest person. I am
huh.
not the smartest person. I let people believe that about me when I was alive. I wanted everyone to think I was the smartest person. I had such a big dick about it.
Yeah,
It was so fucking annoying.
yeah. It sounds fucking annoying. I want to ask about what you just said. You said, "I am still alive. I should be dead, but people are keeping me alive." Is that
Yeah.
what's keeping you tied here to this plane?
Yes.
Oh my God. That
I
must be
wish
so
I could
frustrating.
fucking move on.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is your life like? Where are you?
Please. I'm alive as a concept, and it's incorrect. I'm not who people think I am.
Oh,
And I'm not who people think I am. It's so fucking annoying.
what does that mean to be alive as a concept that is not accurate to who you are? What does that feel like?
How people believe me, what people believe about me, who people believe I am. None of those things are true. They think I'm so smart. They base cartoon characters off of me. Rick and Morty? What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. They keep me alive with these characters, these concepts, being in a board game. What the fuck? I was a physicist and I'm being disrespected. So fucking annoying.
Why does it feel like disrespect for people to carry on the memory? Is it only because it's not accurate? Like if they
Yes,
were to say Einstein was a human, he made mistakes, but he had some really great ideas, would you be okay with that?
if people understood me and understood my humanity without delving into my secrets and my privacy, then yes, I would be okay with it. Instead of cartoon characters and board games, I would prefer that people remembered me through my physics, that children aspire to be scientists, that more people understood the value of science and goodness together.
Something just occurred to me. Part of the model that Iman is building is about shifting perspective so that you can see things from another viewpoint. And what I hear is a lot of frustration over the idolization of your character, really, not even who you are as a person. But I'm not hearing a lot of, like, there are people that I have seen that have seen you as a, the reason why they were attracted to science. There's a kid right now, I think he lives in the south of the United States, and he's trying to build a free energy machine. And he feels very connected to you. Do you feel connected to people like that that really do appreciate you for the physicist and the science and the man that you were?
Thank you for saying that. It really helps me. I don't feel connected to those people as much as I feel connected to the others. It's overwhelming. More people see me as an idol, and as you said, as a character. But remembering that there are the children who still see my value and work as a physicist,
Yeah.
that helps. She found a book report on me online that made me feel good. It's really the children who can see my value as a physicist and as a human.
One of the questions that Iman wanted to ask was what she can do to help you rest. And hearing your perspective on all of this, it feels like this anger that you feel around being misunderstood and mischaracterized is blocking you from being helpful. Because, for example, that kid that's trying to build the free energy machine could really use the same type of help that you're offering to Iman. But if you're so focused on the people that don't get it, then all of your energy is being funneled towards them and it's useless. And you're anything but useless. You're anything but useless.
I wish I could let her go. She's very helpful to me.
She seems willing and open to work with you. She just needs a little bit more balance. She said that she finds it hard to know what of this she's doing for you and what of this is, her freedom to live her life. So again, I'll ask, what is the dynamic between the two of you?
She's helping me a lot. It is how she understands it, past life or whatever. But I seized an opportunity. In a lot of ways, she helps me more than I help her.
I'm sure you know that, especially, it sounds like the lesson that you learned from living your life is that there should be more balance. And I'm sure she's happy to help you, but we would like to see more balance. So, what are some ways that you can kind of even the scales and help her?
I could let her go a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This anger and this anxiety that you feel, these really strong emotions, we want to help you kind of clear some of those emotions. Because the reason why I brought up the Tesla quote where you said, ask Tesla, wasn't to emphasize the fact that you were idolized and asked that question. It's that, to me, that seems like a pretty humble answer while you were alive. So when you say to me that, you were this terrible person, you had this horrible ego, and all you wanted was fame, 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 fortune, 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 to the detriment of your family, I don't know that that's necessarily the image that everybody has. It sounds like a lot of self-blame, self-shame, because you weren't perfect. And as a person that's attracted to physics and math, I can understand how perfection would be attractive to you. But you're a person. You're not a formula.
Wow. Speaking to you has brought me a lot of peace. You're right. A lot of this is my own guilt. But it doesn't help that I still feel like you idolize me a bit.
Me? I don't even know. Bro, I'm terrible at math and physics. Tell me, why do you feel like I idolize you?
Isn't that the problem?
What?
Most people are bad at math and physics.
Keep going.
The people that are bad at math and physics think it's impossible to be like someone like me. But for me, those were easy and other things were hard.
Einstein, you project a lot. I've gotta correct you. I'm not saying that because you're good at math and physics, you're better than me. I'm saying you have a brain for math and physics, and I do not. I have a brain for human behavior and patterns, and kind of like finding bottlenecks and solving solutions. So we have a similar brain. It's just yours, is attracted to math and science, and mine is attracted to people and human psychology. I'm grateful that there are people like you, because who else would teach us about math and physics, you know? But I don't think that you're any better than me or that you're any different than me.
It's
I
not the same.
Tell me.
Thinking someone is better than you is not the same as idolizing them. It's Einstein.
Einstein, I'm sorry. Yes. So when you say it's not the same as idolizing, what is idolizing to you? How do you define it?
It's creating, like you said, a character, a concrete character that can't be changed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't allow room for humanity to be faulty, to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People can see me as a good person when I wasn't really a good person. They don't know the things that I know about myself. So even your comment about finding humility in a statement that I made Sure, you can remember those moments, but the things that were bad, the mistakes I made, the conversations I had behind closed doors,
Mm-hmm.
those things have been forgotten about because they only lived with me. So idolizing someone isn't the same as thinking that someone is better than me.
Yep, that makes sense.
That I'm better. It's true, I am better at physics and math, but I'm idolized for other reasons.
Mm.
It's concrete, it doesn't allow movement.
So I think it's interesting that you're saying people have this character idea of you that's not based in fact. But in the same hand, you're saying that you're very private and don't want to share your mistakes with people.
Yes,
You know, so you've kind of locked yourself into a corner where you are not known, but do not allow yourself to be known.
I'm allowing myself to be known through this interview.
Yeah, you are. It's a big step. I really appreciate it.
Can we move on to the next question, please?
Of course, Iman had a question. Is there a message that you'd like to share publicly through her?
Yes, big message is the idolization about me. But another message is that the world is getting dumber. People are losing their minds. And this is happening everywhere. Humanity is in danger of becoming very stupid. And that's not good for the species, and it's not good for your planet. If there's one way she can help me, and if she can help others, it's to push for the academics, push and inspire more people to learn math and science well beyond high school years and college years. 30, 40, 50, 60-year olds, anyone can do math, but everyone has forgotten.
I'm curious why you feel that math is the way. Like, how does that help us to reinvest our effort into learning math?
I need to address another question before I address yours.
Okay.
There's concern that people haven't forgotten math and that people are still doing math, but that's not true. Compared to 100 years ago, it's not true.
Wow.
Your math is simple. You use calculators for everything. You depend on computers to do things that your brain should be able to do. You don't know how to communicate with one another. Math helps with that. The math that you do on a daily basis is minimal. It's not true math, and it's not true science. Your technology is not science. How do you not understand that? Elon Musk is not a fucking genius, you dumb fucking idiots.
Mm.
He's not a fucking genius, he just has a big fucking ego. You don't understand what science is.
Mm.
Dumbasses. Everyone has become so fucking stupid. It's embarrassing. So stupid, and I don't care if you judge me, and I don't care.
No, I actually encourage you to express your feelings. From your perspective, tell us why this is so important. What changes do you think could happen?
Redirection from technology into physics. Why do you think that a man who works on cars can understand and explore space. You fucking idiots. You think the same thing? You think that a phone, a car, is the same thing as exploring space? You're stupid. And you don't really get it. So you need to work on your math. And you need to re-understand science.
You still haven't told me why, though.
I'm telling you why, because humanity is becoming stupid.
So what were the problems of the universe that you were working on 100 years ago that you feel like we're lax in now?
That's not what I said. I said 100 years ago, people were doing more math than they are right now.
Right.
Problems of the universe can be left to the physics. The physicists. Not everyone has to wonder about these things, but everyone should know basic math.
Yes, that's true. Do you feel like there is someone that's incarnated now that can help humanity move forward?
Yes, it's her.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a beautiful segue. She wanted to know, what advice do you have for her when it comes to her work and her theory?
She needs to remember why she's passionate about it. And she can't let anyone give her direction.
Mm.
All of the direction has to come from within or from God. And she has to do all of the work under her own organization. She needs to oversee everything. None of the work can be used against her or without her permission.
Yeah.
And no
So,
one can steal from her.
so I feel like what she brought up was these heavy emotions that you feel, like the anger that's very evident, the anxiety about how you're perceived, and all of those things. They cloud her and they make life a little difficult for her. So is it possible for you to withdraw a little bit of that energy from her so that she can do this work?
I have to stay with her for a little bit longer. She's not ready to do this on her own.
When I
But this
say,
makes me let go of my anger.
yeah,
It feels good to be heard.
it's been very nice speaking with you, and I really appreciate your passion. I really appreciate it. I think if we had more people that had the same passion and confidence that you had, I think we'd be a lot better off. So she also wanted to know, how long will you be staying with her? Is this a lifetime thing or is this a period of time?
It really depends. But it'll be a few years.
Okay. And why did you choose her?
We chose each other. I'll answer her question. I chose her because she's got what it takes.
Hmm.
And we have a connection.
Yeah, I think that's very evident.
We are reincarnates of each other. A lot of my life affects her, and a lot of her life affects me.
Huh.
We'll always be connected.
So as she heals, you also heal. As you heal, she also heals.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
we'll
sense.
one another.
Yeah. What is your definition of being reincarnates of each other? Like, do you still exist in the time?
I didn't hear you.
Do you still exist in your time, like simultaneously, or are you somewhere different?
I do.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. She wanted to know what's the best way for her to communicate with you? How do you
Right.
communicate with her? Writing, okay. And
And
she meant, I'm sorry, go ahead.
she got the message. You can move on.
Okay. She also said that she noticed synchronicities and that you show up in her dreams. Are those other ways that you communicate with her?
I explained it to her.
Okay. She also had a question. Did you or do you feel aligned with Friedrich Nietzsche's perspective on worldview? Like, what is your worldview?
I don't, but she might.
Okay.
My worldviews are personal and do not matter to her.
Okay. She had a curiosity. Did you feel like you were downloading information, like you were being open to something else and downloading information, or were these the work that you did? Was it stuff that you worked out using your brain power?
Her strength is in her spirit.
Yeah.
My strength is in my mind.
It's a beautiful pairing. It's a beautiful pairing. Did you feel like your spiritual beliefs shaped your work, or were they separate?
They shaped how my work was used.
Huh. She also mentioned that she feels you in different ways. In one way, you feel external to her, and in others, you feel like you're sharing her body with her. Can you describe what that feels like from your perspective?
When she's open to receiving me and allows me to coexist with her, then there is no true difference between me and her. The two of us can exist as one if she allows me to coexist with her. But she rejects me. She knows better than anyone. She knows that I'm a little bit scary.
Yeah. Part of her connection with you has made her feel afraid. And I think it's important that if you guys are going to work together for the next few years, that there is a level of trust and no fear. So, can you let her know why she shouldn't be afraid of you?
I'm going to let go a lot of the anger that I have towards your society and to mine. It's a lot of anger, and she's been carrying a lot of it. She's not an angry person, so it's easy. It's easy for me to put it here.
Mm.
But I will let go of her a little bit so that she can begin to exist as herself.
Thank you. She's really going to appreciate that. She wanted to know, is the end point of this integration, do you guys integrate and become one, or do you go your separate ways?
I can't answer this question publicly.
Okay, can you just let her know privately?
I have already let her know.
Thank you. Is there anything else that we can do to help you while we're still connected? What do you need?
I want to thank you for bringing me a little bit of peace. and for hearing what I have to say. So much of my voice has been silenced, and now I feel heard. So thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to thank her too. I want to thank everyone who understands. It's a blessing to still be alive and a curse.
Yeah. Well, thank you for meeting with us. Thank you for trusting us to be the ones you voiced your opinion with. You know, I really appreciate that you sat with us and spoke with us. And you're always welcome back whenever you'd like to speak again.